Recently, we got to see the first of what is likely to be many matchups between Chet Holmgren and Victor Wembanyama during the NBA preseason. To many, this game was a sign of a rivalry to come. Two very similar prospects with a lot of the same traits that play in the same conference just seems to scream future rivalry. And while Wemby is rightfully getting the more hype of the two right now, I feel as though Chet is being discounted a bit. I wasn't sure how I felt about him coming into the league from Gonzaga, but after more and more reflecting, it looks like Chet has the potential to be a better player than almost anyone really was considering. Today, we're going to break down his game to discuss what he does well, what he does poorly, and if he realistically could present a real rivalry to Victor Wembanyama in the Western Conference over the coming years. With all that, let's get right into it. Firstly, on Chet's shooting. So it's unfortunate we didn't get any film of Chet during his true rookie year due to his injury, but his Gonzaga days really present his shooting prowess just fine. And of course he showed a little bit in the summer league here or there as well. He ended his 1 year of college shooting 39% from three, to which everyone is pretty much aware is really good. We don't have a large sample size of him shooting at the NBA level, but from the small amount we do have, it is effective. One thing that I feel like opens up the game for Chet around the perimeter is his driving ability. Chet has a rare skill set for a player his size, and that's the ability to get to the rim in a variety of ways. Most NBA bigs of his size can basically drive in a straight line towards the rim at most, but due to Chet's creativity there, defenders can't just press up into him and cut off his shooting, because if they do, he's shown the capability to take them to the basket. Chet mostly employed this in the college game with a pull-up top of the key jumper that he eventually was hitting very often. That's another thing that makes his shooting a rare quality for a player of his size. He isn't just relegated to pick and pop attempts and spot-up jumpers. Yes, he can do that and often does, but the fact is that he can pull up off the dribble for three. That's really impressive to me personally. As for his shot itself, it's a pretty slow release, but it is smooth and it is consistent. The slow release for many players would be a big detriment, and it still isn't ideal, but when taking into consideration Chet is 7 foot tall with a 7'6" wingspan, no one is realistically blocking that consistently anyways. All in all, Chet clearly projects as a good shooter in the NBA, and that portion of his game should be a big help to someone like Shai, who excels at getting to the rim. Having as many players around the perimeter as possible to take advantage of his drive and kicks adds a great new dynamic to that Thunder offense. Now on his shot creation, I touched on this a bit earlier, but Chet has an advanced ability to create his own shot for a big his size. Around the perimeter, he has a basic but pretty solid handle. He can do a little bit with the ball other than just straight line drives as he showed. He uses moves such as crossovers and behind the back moves to open things up. He isn't going to go out there and pull off some Kyrie type ISO moves, but he can effectively take someone off the dribble. He can do all this in the half court or in the full court, as he showed some competence running the break as the ball handler as well. Just generally a very versatile and skilled big around the perimeter. His reputation is accurate when it comes to that. In the post, on the other hand, he certainly is not bad. He can finish with both hands and has a relatively decent skill set there. The thing is though, he really has more of a guard mentality than a big mentality, so he's rarely going to go to the post as a first option. And when he does, you'll probably see more face-ups than you do back to the basket, back someone down moves. This is all fine really, because as of now, his body really still isn't at the point where you can back anyone down. This is obviously a weakness everyone is fairly well aware of, and I think he can do just fine as a player while still lacking strength on the interior, but the majority of his shortcomings overall would be heavily benefited with him adding a little more bulk to his frame. Regardless, overall as a shot creator, he is solid both on the interior and the exterior, and that versatility should make him a matchup nightmare for opposing bigs. So now on his finishing, Chet really showed a proficiency for finishing around the rim as well. You would think that his general lack of strength would cause him to get knocked off balance when attacking the rim, but that really hasn't been the case. In college, he shot spectacularly around the rim. I mean, he shot a phenomenal 80% at the rim, which led the country. A lot of this comes down to his control, balance, and footwork. At his height, he has an abnormal agility level. He doesn't get knocked off balance, he can shift directions and absorb contact very well, and you'll see this often when he attacks the rim and takes a hit from a rim protector. He manages to take the contact and finish through it. His length helps him a lot here too, as he can easily rise up on players both on his own drives and as a lob threat. Even being lighter than opposing bigs, he is aggressive and he's focused here, and that goes a long way in making things happen as far as being a finisher goes. Overall, Another strong quality for Chet. So now on Chet's defense, Chet clearly has the potential to be a real game changer on the defensive end, with some caveats. Firstly, he is naturally a good rim protector. This basically comes with the territory when you have the height and length he does on that end of the floor, but it isn't necessarily just his physical traits that make him a good rim protector. He has good anticipation abilities, his timing is solid, and I believe he projects as a player that will know how to use his verticality to contest without fouling, even if he didn't always do that in college. But that comes with experience. He additionally shouldn't be seen as a very switchable big for his size. He does a pretty good job all things considered, but he isn't particularly laterally quick, and he does have the tendency to get beat off the dribble by guards that switch onto him in the past. But he does have enough mobility in his game to be able to recover and still contest the shot of a player that gets around him. My only concern defensively is his overall strength level. His length still does give him the ability to challenge guys, but you've seen it with Wemby, and I think you'll see it to an even bigger degree with Chet. If a big, powerful center gets matched up with them, someone like Joel Embiid for example, he's going to be fully aware he can back them down and get to the rim at will. I think there will be some degree of difficulty for Chet when the most hard-to-guard centers get position on him and back him down. This is just another example of why his baseline strength level needs improvement to help in all categories. So in conclusion, and like I said in the title, I think there will be a lot of people that were aware of the type of prospect Chet projected to be, but they still had some big concerns about him that made them hesitant. I think we've seen enough to say that Chet is going to be pretty great, personally, when healthy. How great? I'm not sure. And will he actually be healthy long term? Also not sure. And that has to be naturally the biggest concern about him as a player. He seems to have such solid versatility and proficiency in so many categories that it's hard to envision him just being bad, though I suppose stranger things have happened. The concern is injuries. This was seemingly a concern going back to even before his college days, with people speculating that he would not be able to hold up based on his height and build at the higher levels of basketball. And so far, he's done nothing to alleviate those concerns. He didn't even get to play his first season in the league because of an injury that occurred during a Pro-Am game. I mean, yes, it was LeBron taking the ball at him that forced the injury, but LeBron clearly is going half speed in that game, and in the league, you're going to have LeBron and other players of similar size taking the ball at you on a nightly basis, and a whole lot more aggressively than LeBron was doing during a Pro-Am game during the summer. Sometimes there's nothing you can do about it, and injuries can just be bad luck, but I want to see him string together a consecutive streak of multiple games before I can be totally sold on him long term. He has all the talent in the world and still probably is the highest ceiling prospect from his draft class. But the concerns with his injuries were definitely enough to create some pause, fully understandably. I will give him some degree of credit. He has worked at it. He came into the league being measured at the combine at 195 pounds. He's currently listed at 208. So putting on 13 pounds of muscle over a year is certainly a step in the right direction. All in all, Chet has shown that he has some major talent, and with some luck on his side, we should be able to see this coming season what he can truly do at the NBA level. And that will conclude this video. We are right at the edge of the start of the NBA season, and I personally am more hyped about this year than I think I have been for most recent seasons. This is a year that I've been saying looks like the time where we truly shift from some of the old superstars being the face of the league to the new crop of players truly taking over. And we also have one of the most hyped rookie classes in recent memory making their debut. And Chet, of course, basically joining them just to add to the anticipation levels. I'm interested in hearing what you guys think. Chet is currently listed as the third best odds to win Rookie of the Year. Wembanyama is at plus 120, Scoot at plus 240, and Chet is at plus 280. The next closest is Brandon Miller at a very distant plus 1600. So Vegas clearly thinks Chet is going to be a solid rival to Wemby from the jump. What do you guys think? Is Victor going to run away with it? Or is Scoot or Chet going to jump in and take the spotlight from him this season? Whatever you think, let me know down in the comments. But with all that, like and subscribe if you like what you saw, and hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hey, thanks again for watching this video. If you like what you saw, go ahead and click on one of these videos here to see more.